Welcome back. I'm Calvin Statue Fanatic, and welcome to another episode of Collecting on a Budget. This is a show where I show you some really cool things that are out there that you can collect. It doesn't matter if you're watching your pocketbook or you just don't have the space to store these things, or you're just wanting to get into the hobby but not break the bank. Without further ado, we're going to get started with this guy. This is Kratos. This is from the new God of War game. This is a 1/4 scale figure from NECA. It's 18 inches tall, and it came out right around the time the game came out. There are two versions of this. There's a standard version of it that you can get, and then there's a version that you can get from Best Buy. The only difference between the two is that the one from Best Buy comes with a little cardboard cutout diorama that doesn't look very good anyway. And I normally would start off by talking about the box, but I threw the box away. And I don't think you guys really care that much about seeing this particular box because it was pretty beat up. But let's talk about the figure itself, because I think this is a really cool figure, especially for you NECA collectors out there. This is an awesome piece. And then again, if you're a fan of the video game in this franchise, another great representation of this particular character. So let's start talking about him a little bit. I'll just do it once around so that you can see exactly what the entire figure looks like. Now, he comes with a couple of accessories, and we'll talk about that as well. Starting with the head sculpt here. Not bad at all. It looks really cool. There's a lot of texture and sculpting in his head sculpt, especially around the eyes and the forehead and that type of thing. You can see where he's frowning, and it looks really good. The paint application is really good as well. I don't have a whole lot of issues with this figure at all. It displays really well. I'm going to show some high resolution pictures so you can see what I'm talking about. There are a couple of things on here that stand out, but it is a figure, so I can imagine that that would be an issue, but I have seen them not have this issue. So for example, on the head, it is articulated and you can turn the head around, but you can also see the seam here, and then where the paint that goes from his back over here, of course, when you turn the head, it's off-centered. Now, if you saw the review of Doctor Strange, you noticed that the rotating axis was a lot lower so that this entire area turned, but that would be difficult here because he doesn't have a garment or anything like that to hide that axis, so it would be hard to do that. But it still looks really cool. His eyes are painted really well as well. I took a really good close-up of that so you can see that. Lots of sculpting in his beard. That looks pretty cool. And then if we just take a look overall and look at his the body sculpt itself, very muscular, a lot of sculpt and detail in his body as well. I like it. It looks cool. And then as far as his outfit is concerned, now that's where he really shines. There is tons of detail in his outfit, lots of sculpting and various layers of things happening here. So even with this going across his shoulder here, you can see tons of different designs, sculpt, shadings, stitching, all kinds of things here. The same thing on his gauntlets or on the wrapping that's around his arm. Lots of sculpting, detail, different types of striations in it, and it all looks very, very, very nice. And the same with his fingernails, lots of sculpting. The axe also sculpted really well, tons of detail in it. As far as a figure go, they did a really good job. And again, if you're into NECA figures and you're into this character, this is a great way to have something that will display really well in your collection. And then that sculpting continues around his back. If you look here, you can see where all of this, it looks like some type of fur pelt or something like that. Looks really cool. The knife is sculpted, and not only that, the knife actually comes off. It's a separate piece altogether. That's a really nice touch as well. And he has this water jug. I think that's what that is here, or some type of pouch. The same thing here. The belt, all the way down his leg. Tons of texture and sculpting on the clothes that he's wearing down his leg, including the pants. Really nice figure overall, and the shield nicely sculpted as well, both the back and the front of it. And like I said, this is actually a separate accessory that can come off, and there's a little plug that you can put here so that it doesn't show that particular hole. And this is kind of what the shield looks like, if you can see that on camera. And it has a little notch there, and it snaps in there really nicely too. So now, as far as the NECA figures go, I said this before, these figures are not light, they're pretty heavy. And they don't typically stand up by themselves, and NECA doesn't include any type of base stand that goes with them. So what I've done is, either at Hobby Lobby or online, you can get these stands here where you can actually take this, like here, and there's a little piece here, and you can see where this comes off. They're very inexpensive. That goes into there. And it does a really good job with these larger scale figures and keeping them in a position where you can pose them really nicely. And they don't fall over and that type of stuff. So again, this is a really good deal when it comes to collecting on the budget. This guy is right around $129 at full retail. If you catch him online, like on eBay and other places, it can be a little bit cheaper than that. Other than that, that's it for Kratos from the latest Sony exclusive video game. And if you want to stay on top of the latest in the world of collecting, please head over to mcecentral.com where you can find some really cool unboxings and things of that nature. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. If you really like what I do and the series you find interesting or entertaining or any way, please let me know. So until next time, peace.